Hello, Alice here from Minerva. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to be giving you 3 ideas for hacks of the Kew Dress. If you don't already know the pattern, it is amazing. Honestly, there's so many variations straight out of the packet, so even if you're not that confident with pattern hacking yet, or if you just don't want to, honestly, the designs are incredible. So there's a 40s style tea dress with short sleeves, little ruching detail at the sleeve as well. Then there's a sleeveless version, as you can see I'm wearing now, that also has the option of cap sleeves. And there's also a skirt version. So from the off, just from one pattern, you're getting so much bang for your buck. It's fantastic, I love it. So the Kew is probably my most made pattern, and no two look the same. I've probably made about 12, it's pretty bad. But I just think if you've got one pattern that you know works, it's fantastic, and for me the Kew is that pattern. So I'll get on with my first pattern hack for you. So this first hack is probably closest to the original design. I think it's quite recognisable as a Kew dress. I kept the bodice as it is. All I did though was create a V shape at the back. So it has, the pattern design has quite a completely straight bodice at the back, and just to create an extra little detail, I literally just sloped that off. So you cut the back on a fold, I just dropped it and it created a nice V shape. I fully lined the bodice as well, so I just replicated that V for the bodice, which I found created quite a nice kind of like a luxe feel to it, but the pattern does come with facing, so you know, just go with whichever one you prefer. Then for the skirt, I created a gathered skirt, which is a really easy hack, super simple, literally just big rectangles that you gather along. I added patch pockets because I enjoy a patch pocket. And the final little tweak I made was to add on a contrast colour band at the bottom of the skirt, which literally was just extending the skirt, the bottom of the skirt, adding on an extra band. I top stitched it down so it's held nice and flat. So I wanted to go for really bright colour pops for this to create that contrast colour blocking style, and I chose Art Gallery Fabrics Poplin. So the pink is called Festival Fuchsia and the red is called Ruby, and they worked brilliantly together. I love clashing pink and red, and these two shades worked really well together. There are loads of shades available at Minerva, so if you click the product tag you can then go through and see other colours and create your own, you know, mix and match colours to create your own version. And the buttons are really simple. I kind of wanted the dress to do the talking and not do any kind of statement buttons at all, so they're just round fisheye buttons. The colour is red, and they actually come in a pack of 100, so it's really good value for money as well. So if you have many Kews planned, you can button them all up with just one pack of buttons. My next pattern hack idea is a playsuit. So for this I combined 2 patterns. So for the short section, I'd say just find any really simple basic trousers or shorts pattern that you have. You can even use a pyjama bottoms pattern. You basically just want something that has, you know, no darts, no details, kind of a wide waist, because the idea is for it to be quite loose so you can just pull the whole thing on. So what I did was, before cutting the bodice, I made the short section, because then you have the width of your waist pieces, and then I cut the bodice to fit that. So I kept the top of the bodice exactly as my size on the pattern piece, but then I just brought the lines out so that they would meet the top of the shorts. So just because you're combining 2 patterns, that's one thing to bear in mind. You're going to need to make them fit together. So I would create one side and then the other side to fit onto it. The fabric you might recognise, it's the amazing Lady McElroy cotton lawn. It's called Marley. It's wonderful. I think it's become quite iconic in the sewing world. it's been on the scene for a while and it's still so fresh, really cool. I've even seen it being used in high street shops now. They're finally catching on. We were there first. And it worked brilliantly for this. Lovely to sew. Cotton lawn just behaves perfectly. So if you want something that you know is going to be quite straightforward to sew, really, really recommend this fabric. And it holds the shape really well. It's still comfortable, can move in it, but it's got a bit of structure to hold the bodice shape really nicely. One thing I did find that I am going to adjust, but I thought would be best to share with you all, is kind of a little problem I ran into with the straps, is that you can kind of see it's bulging a little bit on the outer edge. So I honestly don't know if it's that I put it in the wrong way round on this one, or if it's just how it's sitting. But that's just something, I mean, it's going to be an easy thing to correct. It's just unpicking one tiny area. But I think that's just one thing to bear in mind with the pattern, is baste your straps in first, just to check that they're going to sit properly for you. You don't want them to be pinching down on you or falling off your shoulder. So yeah, it's one thing to baste them in place, try it on, see, have a little wriggle, see how you feel before you put those final stitches in place. My final pattern hack idea is a jumpsuit. I actually combined two Nina Lee patterns for this, so I used the Kew bodice and I paired it with the Portobello trousers. This pattern hack probably involves the most modifications of all my 3 suggestions, so I will do a quick run through of them for you. The first one, which is super simple, is just widening the straps. Literally just made the rectangle wider, really easy, but creates quite a different shape to the pattern. I think it creates more of a kind of dungarees feel to this, which is what I wanted with the denim. The trousers pattern fastens with an invisible zip up the back. There isn't a kind of fly fastening or buttons at the front. So that was the main part that needed a bit of kind of rejigging. So I still did the button up front, but I just sewed it in place. So I did top stitching all the way around, because I think that works really well with the denim. But this is actually sewn in place, and the whole thing it does up with an invisible zip right the way up the back. This was kind of just for simplicity, with I didn't want to have to completely redraft the front of the trousers, but also I just think it gives a really nice shape. As with the colour block version, I created a V shape at the back, exactly the same as with the previous one, but for this I stuck with the facing rather than lining the bodice. So I just replicated the alterations I made to the bodice. I did exactly the same for the facing, so laid it over the top with tracing paper and just drew over it so that they matched. The denim I used for this was an absolute dream. It worked perfectly. It's a 190 GSM stretch denim. Neither pattern actually calls for a stretch fabric, so it was a bit of a gamble, but it worked out really well. It's just really, really comfy. Having that little bit of stretch creates a bit more movement in the jumpsuit, which is just lovely. It's so comfortable to wear. I'm so pleased with how each of these pattern hack ideas turned out. I hope you found them inspirational. If you have any ideas or questions or comments, please do comment on the video and we will get right back to you. If you haven't already, please do create an account. You'll actually get sent a discount voucher. And even better, if you join as a Minerva Craft Club member, you get a whole year of 10% off your orders. So it's well worth joining in. It's a brilliant community on Minerva. You can upload your photos, like and comment on other people's photos and their makes. It's brilliant, so please do get involved and please follow us for more videos. Thank you for joining me today. I'll catch you next time. Bye.